Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nitin, owner and founder of moazo.co.uk, and today is Friday, and if you're a regular subscriber you know exactly what this means. This means one thing: it's Fragrance Friday. Now my hope is that this video actually uploads for a Friday. Based on my previous videos, I realized they're uploading slightly later. It's taking ages, don't know why. Technology. Anyway, so this could turn into a Fragrance Saturday. Whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, it doesn't matter. Just I hope that you're safe, sound, and having a wonderful time whatever you're doing. Now, as the title suggests, we are looking at another product by Haeckels, and although I do like to keep things very, very varied, I decided to go for another Haeckels product primarily because of the changes that have been made, and it's like a public service announcement, something that any Haeckels fans and people who are new to Haeckels should know about, because some changes have been made. Now, I'm going to try to keep this concise and short because, as you know, I have the tendency to kind of lose myself in these descriptions, and if you are new to the channel, please do not take things so seriously. The whole idea of my descriptions and the way I approach scent is more along the lines of how it makes you feel, the kind of images it puts in your mind when you have when you smell them, and the kind of memories and feelings that these fragrances evoke. So rather than being pretty snobby about them, the whole idea is that we have a different approach to fragrance and we kind of enjoy them in a different manner. So without further ado, let's make the thumbnail for this video together. Today we are taking a look at OnShore by Haeckels. Now, I know the thumbnail and this packaging doesn't give away too much, but if you are familiar with the Haeckels fragrance sampler set that was very, very popular last year, late last year, basically the packaging got changed. Not the fragrances, but the packaging. And this is the new packaging, and I'm going to quickly run you through what's changed, what they've done, and how they've heckled the packaging, because Haeckels, as you know from my previous video, they're always tweaking the packaging, bringing it more in line with their ethos about the environment and the becoming one. So you're taking, but you're also giving, that sort of scenario, and I love that. So without further ado, let's kick off today's Fragrance Friday. I've got another box that's open right here. This is my own personal set, and I'm going to take you through it step by step. And the reason I've got two separate things here is because the labeling requires its own attention. So I'm going to quickly and kind of like concisely try to whiz through this, because we want to get to the smelling part, right? Okay, so this is the little wrap that comes that keeps the box together, and what you'll notice in the light, or if you ever get a chance to touch this, it's got a texture to it. And what this texture is, it's caused by seeds. So this is seed paper. If you're not familiar with seed paper, it's basically paper impregnated with seeds. So you can just chuck this into the compost or into the ground somewhere, and it'll sprout flowers. So this is completely compostable. It's not going to cause any problems to the environment. What you take back is what you take is what you give, kind of scenario, right? So this is a seeded paper. It's great, you know. You can use this, you can plant this, and off you go. Put it in a I don't know, one of those kind of window baskets, and plant something. On top of that, it acts as the information center for this pack. Now, if you are familiar with the GPS, Haeckels GPS, you will know. I say Haeckels GPS. If you are familiar with the Haeckels fragrance sampler pack, you would know that it was called the GPS exploration pack. Now that GPS scenario hasn't completely been removed, it's still here, and I'll get to that in a second. But all the information for the 4 scents that come in this pack known as the onshore pack as opposed to the offshore pack. So are very distinct. All the fragrances, all the kind of like key ingredients for these fragrances are picked in very specific geographic locations within the UK, and in relation to the GPS coordinates, those coordinates are here as well. And on top of that, what I really like about the description is that you've got the description or the name of the scent, in this case let's say Blean Woods, you've got the GPS location, you've also got the date when it was picked, when I guess the components for this fragrance were picked. In this case they were picked on the 30th of July 2018, and the day, the weather on the day, it was a sunny day. So all these things I imagine impact the expression that will be captured from the ingredients. If it's a sunny day, I'm sure there's less water in the flower or the plant. If it's a wet day, it's probably a bit damper and probably has a different kind of tonal range, if that makes sense. That's my take on it. Now, I'm trying to get through this kind of like bit as fast as possible because I know we all want to get down to the scents. So that said, there is another element. This box, it's not what you think it is. Look at the texture of it. It looks great, right? So this is a box that is, or packaging that is formed from agricultural waste, meaning any sort of kind of like pulp, husk, or any sort of like leftovers. They're kind of like, and fibers or whatever from, let's say, corn husk and all that sort of stuff. It's mashed together, turned into a pulp, and then in order to bind it all together, they put a what they call here something called mycelium. And if you are inclined, you're a botanist, has a passion, or you are a botanist and you know about plants and the kind of magic that that nature has in store for us, the more we kind of work with it, you'll know that that mycelium is basically the name for the kind of root network for mushroom, for a particular type of mushroom. And what they've done is they've taken that mushroom and they've mixed it into this agricultural pulp, which has been washed and cleaned, and then after a while it kind of grows and it turns into a malleable product, which then eventually can take any form if you put it into a mold, and then it will set. And that's exactly what's happened in this instance. They've made packaging that is made from agricultural waste and the root network of a mushroom, which after you're done with it, you can just stick it in the ground and it will just decompose and go back into nature. Really, really thoughtful, really nice. I wish it was done more often with various other products. Now, if you take these two together and put these both in the ground, basically this will provide food for this. So it's a win-win all around. So keep that in mind. I thought it's very important to kind of like mention what the guys at Haeckels have done with this. It may not be the perfect solution, but it's definitely a solution, and I wish more people were doing something like this. Now, let's kick off. Let's just start. Here we go. Here's the box. Let's see how we haven't opened it upside down. But let's just open this up and here we go. They've even molded the innards. Look at that. I like that. So each 7.5 ml vial is housed in this kind of like really nice labeled velvet kind of package or pouch. One thing that needs to be understood is that the name of the fragrance is actually on the pouch. It's not on the bottle itself. So if you take a vial out, make sure you put it back into the same pouch. Otherwise, you're going to have to sniff your way through the scents to figure out which is which. And let's just do this. Let's go from left to right. So I'm going to kick off with Richborough. Should we do that? Okay, let's kick off with Richborough, and I'm going to put you right here. How does that sound? Okay. I'll put you there. So we're going to kick off with Richborough. Like I said, it's in this pouch. These things are a bit flaky. I think that's the only issue with that, but I don't mind it. Now, let's take that out there, put it to the side. Presented in this vial with labeling, Haeckels labeling. And let's just kick off. Let's just get involved. Let's do this. Here we go. By the way, while I let this settle, before we start talking about this, I've had a couple of questions about my sweatshirts. This sweatshirt was given to me by my sister for Christmas. It's by the guys at Folk. It's moss green, if you're interested. And if you see this is in the rest of my videos with some of the other sweatshirts that I'm wearing. It's basically my lockdown uniform at the moment. Just working comfortably, trying to get things done. And if you see this more than once, I do not film all my videos on the same day. So I hope that answers your question. And secondly, the images that you see on my my screen here, they're taken by me. I had a couple of questions on that. They're taken by me, and thank you for the compliments that I'm getting for these images. And some have inquired about buying them. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Anyway, I've let this settle, and it's already kind of like filling the air. I think I've breathed some of it in, which doesn't taste terrible. That's really nice. Let's find out a bit more about it, because there's always a little bit more information with the guys at Haeckels. Let's find out. Richborough, where are you? Here we go. Richborough, GPS location 1951 E. I guess that's 19 degrees, something 51 degrees. I don't read GPS. I'm sorry if I don't read GPS. Apologies, but I'm sure you figured it out. And it says picked on the 6th of August, and it was a rainy day. Interesting. And there's a description here about it, so I'll put on my best radio voice and read that out to you. So here we go. A winding country path overlooked by a single apple tree and a large bush of elder leads up to the crumbling walls and grass ditches of an old Roman fort. The scent of this secluded lane is blown up by the wind from the rolling farmland beyond. The scent of poppies, spearmint, bindweed, and wild parsley is met with elderflower, apple, and grass to create one of our most intrinsically English fragrances and locations. I don't know if that locations bit makes super sense, but I guess I know what they're getting at. They're saying, look, this whole area seems super English. Fair enough. And I guess the picture that they've painted of winding lanes and farmlands and apple trees and Roman forts, yeah, it's very historically English. If you ever get a chance to wander through the English countryside, that is probably what you'd see. And I don't usually like reading descriptions, but the guys at Haeckels, they put so much effort into these sort of things. I really think that it's worth it, and the scents are so different compared to what you might find out there, that they kind of require that little more time to kind of enjoy. So enjoy the packaging, enjoy the description, and then enjoy the scent, if that makes sense. But I definitely, that's sweet. It's a sweet scent. It feels very, very, very feminine. There is spearmint there. I think the spearmint is probably the dominant scent, the dominant kind of like tone in this. There's a sweetness. There's a sweetness, but then there's also a kind of subtle greenness. That could be the grass coming out. It smells like it doesn't smell like wet grass. It smells like long grass that is a little bit wet. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's not super grassy. And I know it says elderflower. I probably wouldn't have guessed it as elderflower, but that elderflower, to me, if I didn't know it, I would have said, okay, look, there's a sweetness in here. There's a creamy sweetness in here. What is that creamy sweetness? I would have probably sounded like a bit of a simpleton and gone, it smells like the kind of like creamy sweetness of custard. It's got this really nice, pleasant, thick, tasty sweetness that is mixed in with that spearmint freshness. And it's not minty. It's not like super fresh minty, take your breath away. It's spearmint. It's a soft mint. You know how it's developing? This could be a really, really good summer scent. And I stuck it up my nostril there. I'm trying to get as much of this as I can. And there's something a bit traditional about this too. I don't know how to describe it. I think, and obviously Haeckels fragrances are genderless, but if my wife or girlfriend walked into the room wearing this scent, I would absolutely love it. It is one of those scents that you could probably wear all year round. It's fresh. It's wet. It's got this kind of ozonic kind of layer to it. It's sweet. It's floral. It's got this earthy greenness to it. At first, I would have described it almost like there's apples, a golden delicious. It's almost got this kind of golden delicious nature about it. It's sweet and pleasant and happy and tasty, and it's almost like if I was to smell, like I say, if I was to smell this, I would go, I really, really like that, and I would just want to smell more of it. Just grab my girlfriend and go, take a big whiff of her, because it'll be in her neck or her hair, and it would just be nice. You want this scent. You want to smell it, and I think it's perfect for women. 100%. And it's got a traditional edge to it. It's got this kind of edge where you go, you know what? You're not trying to be super fancy. This is definitely an ageless scent. You could probably wear this scent all year round for the rest of your life, and it will never get old. I really like that. And I could go on, as you know, and I could start getting really deep into this, but what I'm going to put this down, step away from this, and I'm going to try to squeeze in another. I don't know if we can do all four, but I'll do another one. So let's do the next one. St. John's Cemetery. Interesting. Let's find out what this one's about. Here we go. St. John's Cemetery. Let's not mix these up. Take my own advice. Let's put this one back. And like I said, the labels are on the pouches. They're not on the bottles. Let's put that there. Let's take the lid. Let's drop the lid. And let's have a good sniff of St. John's Cemetery by Haeckels. Here we go. Oh wow, okay, I've already taken a hit of that. While that's going on, let me have a read. Here we go. St. John's Cemetery, GPS coordinates 2241E, picked on the 6th of August on a rainy day. Now this one's a bit long, this blurb. Let's have a read. Here we go. One of our strangest locations out of all our perfumes. This place is a historical part of a town where the present and the past sit side by side. The location is surrounded by large pine trees, which have been standing for many years, whilst between these larger trees grows a huge number of unusual and unexpected trees. They don't have many full stops or commas in it, which have thrived through cross-pollination and careful tending. Every year, more and more plants are brought to this area and their seeds are dispersed so that they will either live to grow or lay dormant on the moss-covered wet earth. A mist seems to always lay over the place, which suits its subdued beauty. Okay. A place of, I believe that's meant to say cultural, but there's a seed kind of missing, so that print's gone, but a place of cultural importance, I imagine, but also one which shows the relationship between life and death. Okay, the guys at Haeckels might want to get the grammar police on that, but I get you. That sounds like a really interesting scent, and while I've been speaking, that scent has been growing, and I am literally starting to cook. This has caused a reaction in me, which is making me very, very warm. If there was a spectrum between Richborough and St. John's Cemetery, they are so far apart, it's ridiculous. This is more my style of scent. 100%. I'm already in love with this. I'm done. Forget it. Mic drop kind of thing. This is lovely. And the reason I like it, let's try to break this down. This is mossy. This is green. This is earthy. This is not dry earth. This is wet soil. This is rain. This is freshness. There's a freshness to this. I don't know how they managed to get that, but there's just definitely some sort of kind of like lemongrass freshness in here. It seems like a very traditional scent, and I say lemongrass, but there's kind of like how to describe it? Like a vapor, like a vapor rub freshness to it. Like it almost pops your sinuses at first, so it comes out very, very green, very, very earthy. I mean, you can feel it, you can taste it, but then it starts to settle. And it's settling into a green, mossy. There's a cheeky bit of sweetness in this somehow. I don't know where that's coming from. But fresh. Sweetness to it. This is really nice. This is immediately very, very nice. And where I'd say that Richborough, where Richborough is definitely a feminine scent, this can go both ways, but I would highly recommend men to try this scent out. This is something, how to describe it? You know what? I'm going to try to paint the picture, and please, if you're not new to me, my ways of painting pictures, just go with it, right? Close your eyes and imagine this day. Imagine it's raining out. Imagine it's wet. Imagine you don't want to be outdoors. Imagine you've got a dog and you're like, the dog's going to get wet. Everything's going to get wet. You're miserable. Everyone's miserable. And your partner or your friend goes, let's just go out for a hike or a walk through the woods or whatever it is. Let's go and walk through nature for a bit. So what? It's raining. You don't, and you're in your mind going, I don't like anything about nature. Like, leave me alone. I always want to sit down and watch TV. But then you get the look from the dog, and he's like, I want to go for a walk as well. And you're like, you know what? You couldn't convince me, but the dog has. Let's do this. So you get your wellies on, all that sort of stuff. You drive up to some place, and you kind of go, okay, let's do this. And you walk. You go for a walk, and not too far from me, you know, this is where I would picture something like Richmond Park, and you walk through Richmond Park. You're walking through the you know, the wooded area, and all of a sudden it dawns on you that the rain, the soil, the sound of the dog walking around, the patter of feet on the ground, the smell in the air, is actually not bad. That you actually like it. That there's something about it that brings you a sense of calm and happiness that you don't know why, but all of a sudden, all these years of disliking getting into wet soil or putting your hands in wet soil, you almost find yourself wanting to do that. Somehow they've managed to capture the texture of nature in this. This is earthy, woody, wet, mossy, spicy. I mean, this it's got it all going on. This is a scent that I would highly recommend for men. And this is that sort of scent that after all of that kind of like falling in love with nature again, that you could associate, this could be someone's trademark scent, like this is the scent they wear, and you associate it with them for the rest of their lives. It's like, say you or your father, you wore a scent, or he or they wear a scent, and you go, that's dad's scent. It's that one. You open his shaving bag and it's pop, and you go, that smells like dad. Or you put his clothes on, you go, that smells like dad. It's one of those scents. This is a scent that is recognizable, pleasant, and I don't think you'll find anyone who would dislike this. It's got a warming peppery pepperiness to it as well. I don't know if any of this is intended, but for me, there's a earthy, lemony, not lemony, kind of like, there's a freshness, an earthy freshness to it, and it's not lemon, it's definitely kind of like a lemongrass, but with the warmth of like damp wood mixed with cinnamon and peppers. It's very, very interesting, very nice, very pleasant. That is, for me, is a keeper. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna wear this one. Let's put that down. Let's not get too lost. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to do the other two on a different Fragrance Friday. We've got so many to explore. This, let's not forget, is the OnShore. This is OnShore from Haeckels, right? They also have an offshore. So we not only have we've got these two fragrances to discover, we've got another 4 to discover. So the GPS exploration pack used to have like a number of scents in them. They split them in half, 2 scents, onshore, offshore. I'll leave the links below if you're interested in checking them out. Obviously you don't have to get them from me, but if you do, you're just helping funding the channel. If you don't, please, whatever you do, just give me the plum. If you like these videos, if you are new to the channel, if you're one of my, thousands of viewers and you don't feel like subscribing, don't worry about it. Just hit the like button. If you do feel like subscribing, just hit the subscribe button. That'll, and give me a like. That'll really help me out. And let's call it there. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, leave them below as usual. I try my best to respond to all of them in a timely manner. And it's Friday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make the most of it. Have a great weekend. I am now going to clock off from work. I'm going to finish this, edit this, put it onto upload, and I'm going to go and finish a quest on Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which has basically been pending since 2018. So wish me luck. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.